My name's Dr. Eric Honing. I'm a board-certified family practice physician as well as board-certified in sports medicine, and most recently I'm board-certified in anti-aging and regenerative medicine. I did my initial training in Vancouver, British Columbia, and then went on and did my residency in family practice in Arizona and my fellowship in sports medicine in Indiana. Well, the biggest thing about healthcare and the way healthcare has changed, I really call it sick care. What we were really doing was, as physicians, we were really trained on how to take care of people once they became sick. And here we would start trying to treat this illness with this medication, and then we had to take another medication to prevent the side effect from this medication. And then it just didn't make sense to me. And so then I really started, why don't we just look at what's causing the problem and getting to the actual true function of our bodies. And that's what the whole functional medicine component that we're trained in is so exciting. We're trying to actually prevent these illnesses, and you look at that by, number one, balancing lifestyle, looking at proper eating habits, proper exercise habits, and then proper sleep habits. And then what we really specialize in is now incorporating the hormones and balancing the hormones, all of them together, to allow the body to really function at its fullest capacity. When we talk about hormones, it's very important to know what is a hormone. Well, I like to use a hormone as basically a messenger that takes a message from one part of a body to the other part of the body. I like to use the analogy of keys floating through the system. So you think of all these millions of keys floating through the system. These keys have to then go to the cell and lock into that cell and turn it on and tell it what to do. So then it's very important that when we start actually having to replace these hormones or try to replace these keys, the term bioidentical comes up. So what is a bioidentical hormone? A bioidentical hormone is really a molecule that's the exact same structure as what our own body produced. So if we go back to the key analogy, it's really the keys are identical. And why is that important? Well, when we use those bioidentical hormones, they are very efficacious, they're able to work very efficiently, but the most important thing is the body knows what to do with it, is able to break it down and eliminate it from the body. Because if not, those hormones will start to build up, and that's when the side effects and problems really come into play. And that's what, with the predecessor, the non-bioidentical hormones, was the problem. When hormones start declining, and we're all very familiar with the female component or the menopause. Well, let's just talk briefly about andropause, or what we call the male menopause, and what happens when our male hormones start to decline. And men, it's more of a subtle change. It may not be that sudden drastic change, but it can be very devastating and very life-altering. And so the biggest frustration, like in men, is their energy starts declining. That zest for life, what we call that competitive edge, starts changing, and then they're gaining weight. They're not able to lose the weight they were able to. Their sex drive is dropping down, and it becomes a very frustrating time in a man's life as well as for the man's partner. And we want to be able to help them with this, and we usually start off by, number one, looking at their lifestyle. Is there ways we can improve their eating habits, improve their sleep habits, improve their fitness? And then the big component that we do is balancing the hormones. And we're not always just talking about just balancing testosterone, although that's probably the key hormone. We need to balance all of the hormones, because we think of all the hormones interact and work together like a symphony orchestra. If we really just concentrate on the testosterone, like the horn section, yeah, that'll sound great, but when we step back, the whole symphony may not be sounding as good as we'd like it to, and therefore we have to look at how all the hormones interplay, and it becomes very important.
When my wife introduced me to this whole concept and the whole idea of bioidentical hormones through Body Logic, it was kind of scary at first, but then it really makes a lot of sense. It's really matching your hormone levels in a natural way to bring it back to a level where you do feel better. And it's dramatically improved our lives, and I would suggest it to anyone. It's wonderful. It just gives you a new way to look forward to life, because I can tell you, from personal experience, when your testosterone levels are dipping down to a level that's pretty low, you don't have the energy or the ability or even the desire to do a lot of things. And this gets you back in the game.
We have a lot of years left.
For more information and more important news on how you can take care of your health, I would recommend going to our website called bodylogicmd.com, and you can look up the different physicians. I'm located in Arizona. I'm Dr. Eric Honing from Bioidentical MD of Phoenix, and I'd be happy to work with you in increasing your vitality in your life.